Hello, everyone, and welcome back to VoidSpace Alpha. My name is Ollie, and today I'm joined by none other than the storyteller, aka, as I know him, Mike from the Discord server. Mike, why don't you say hello?
Hi everybody, how's it going?
Yeah, and yeah, look, today we're trying something new. We're going to cast some games, and these games have been selected from a Discord server tournament that we ran on the VoidSpace Alpha Discord. This is DPUTER against Cold Loyalty. It's a ZvZ matchup, right?
It is,
Yeah,
and
cool.
in the lower right corner we have Cold Loyalty playing as the Zerg.
I just realised I don't have my unit health bars on, so I'm going to turn those back on because I obviously just finished taking a screenshot. Yeah, and in the top left we have the Deputer. So let me tell you what I'm expecting from this. Right, I'm expecting, and I'm just going to bump the speed up if I can to speed 2 just for these opening phases. But I'm expecting a second hatchery, a spawning pool, and some Overlord scouting. That's all I'm expecting from the very opening throws of this game.
Well, in the bottom we see that Cold Loyalty is going for a
Oh yeah, he is
pool
getting an
first at
early spawning
14.
pool. Yeah, yeah, that is
That is what
interesting.
we know as the 14 pool.
Cool. Okay, yeah, and I can see the second Overlord is popping out now, and his second hatchery is going down. So we can see that on the production tab in the top left-hand corner. Yeah, we can see that Overlords passing in the middle of the map like ships in the night, as these two players try to figure out each other's strategy. So I'm guessing, and again, I'm not a professional StarCraft caster in any way, shape, or form. I'm barely a competitive player, but I'm guessing that early pool means we're going to see some early aggression.
Well, I thought so, but actually you notice that he didn't have any of the drones queued up, or the larvae queued up for Zerg. So I'm gonna guess that that 14 pull was honestly more of just a defensive pull to keep his opponent honest.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So his opponent scouts that, sees the pool. Yeah, and that might sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Psychologically stop a rush there. I haven't seen this before. This must be like a higher level gameplay. A hatchery directly next to the natural, a third hatchery.
That is a interesting build. I would once again say, given what we've seen from Cold Loyalty, that he is just playing a very defensive game and is probably just putting a wall in at his natural.
Right. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah. And we've got queens popping out on both sides of the map. I'm guessing that is to at this stage provide just a tiny bit of defense and inject. So yeah, that is to be expected. Now we're looking at a Roach Warren from Deputer, and yeah, nothing else extra really from Code Loyalty at the moment in terms of build. Although that Roach Warren is going down to match, so he's just slightly behind there. He's about one Roach Warren
Yes.
behind in build time.
But you'll notice he had been saving up larvae, and this is going to be quite the roach push.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, he's going to take down that Overlord. I'm always curious to see if that instigates a supply block, and it does, which always reinforces my own feeling and less about the feedback I get on my videos, which is if you can take out a supply-bearing structure like a pylon or an Overlord or a supply depot, you absolutely should, especially if it's at no cost to you, because then, yeah, there was an additional bit of supply blocking there, which could be the difference in these games between winning and losing. So yeah, I know that's something I've personally been working on. We're getting a third from who is this in red? The Pewter here. Code Loyalty. I mean, technically does have a third, but you know he's not really got a mining third. I wouldn't call that an expansion. But an interesting bit of map control and map vision. If I just switch to Code Loyalty here, yeah, I can see that he has got some view. And it's kind of what you would expect. He's controlling all of the expansions and the lanes. Deputer less so, but yeah, we can see how this is going to devolve. Lair's coming in from both players here. Sorry, that's wrong. Lair coming in from Deputer. Another hatchery coming in from Code Loyalty, bringing him up to 4 in total. So I'm guessing his production ability is going to be quite strong. Double Evo chamber on the front of the natural with Deputer. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see those upgrades getting pumped out nice and quickly. I can see from the production tab that there is an evolution chamber for Code Loyalty as well, knocking around somewhere that is pushing out metabolic boost. So yeah, there is that. So far, not really seen much action, but it looks like this first push is
Oh, we
going to
have
begin.
Zerglings coming.
Yeah, Yeah. Now, I'm always
Now,
guessing the aggressive player in this scenario is going to be the one that comes off worse, purely because if you're defending your base, you've just instantly got a lot more production ability and less time to travel.
well, you do have that, but remember that if you are the one being aggressive, then your opponent's having to react to what you do.
Yeah, yeah, I did find that in a game I played today, actually. That does make a big difference. I was very conscious at keeping the aggression on their side of the map. So yeah. Right, okay, he's just having a little scout. He's going to pull away a few Zerglings and a Roach. He could probably trade very efficiently against those. But chooses not to, for whatever reason.
What I have noticed is neither player has finished their Zergling speed, although Cold Loyalty is going to finish it up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is going to make a
DPUTER,
difference.
not even going for that, looks like he is going to be going straight Roaches as he is investing into the Roach speed as well.
Yeah, and I think we're just seeing our first Ravager pop out there as well by DPUTER. So classic Roach Ravager build here. A little bit of base defense. I would have expected that on the natural anyway. Interesting to see that that Overlord is only just now going over to the right-hand side of his base to, I'm guessing, scout for Nidus Worms, which is going to be the biggest threat at the moment while they both build up forces.
Well, actually, if you look at Red, his Overlord spread is wonderful. He has vision of
Yeah.
almost the entire map.
Yeah,
On
anything
least
that
on
moves
his
to
side.
anything that moves to any base on that side of the map, excuse me, he's going to have vision of it. Yeah, that is pretty good.
Now, I wonder if we're going to see this Ravager get around to wiping out the Overlord. Are we going to see
Yeah,
it?
it could happen. It could happen.
No,
Oh, no,
he's
some
going to use
Hydras.
Hydras.
Is he going to use Hydras? I think they're just sitting there. He can definitely see them. Yeah, he can see that. I've just switched to his vision. So yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't. But yeah, let
And
me have
what
a.
we have...
Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, I just think that what we have going on here is the classic arm race of who can get to 200 first.
Yeah, I think that is going to be the case for this map. It's interesting, you know, because when I play players that are higher skilled than me, there's the odd probing attack and stuff that you should be expecting. But they just, once they probe and they find a weakness, they exploit that weakness massively. Well, I guess my problem is I don't have the defensive nature to be able to effectively counter the probing attack, so it never makes it to 200 supply. Whereas here, it's like, okay, they can tell, you can almost sense that the other player has got a good control of their micro, they've got a decent force, of course they're going to be able to react, so my best bet is trying to out-macro them by getting all of my upgrades and all of my supply blocked out, which, yeah, is just a fascinating part of the game for me. I can't wait to mentally graduate to that level. Still so curious that he's got quite a lot of Hydras here, you know, and he can see this Overlord. And yeah, killing an Overlord at this stage of the game, 8 minutes 22, isn't going to supply block anyone. Like, it would be hilarious if it did, but it is providing vision, and vision is information.
And speaking of vision,
yeah,
DPUTER can now see that Cold Loyalty is moving out, and Cold Loyalty, knowing he's seen, has decided to run back.
yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. So what would the play here be with ZvZ? You get a few Mutalisks, take out those Overlords, try and reduce that map visibility. That would be my play, and I'm not a Zerg player. I'm a mediocre Terran player at best.
No, you're fine. I would just say that I don't think we're going with the Zerg meta here, but what I would say is for Cold Loyalty, he's actually got... What does he have going for him? He has Infestors, and that's something his opponent doesn't have.
Yeah.
But really needs to make sure that he's staying on top of those upgrades. He is getting them now, but
9 minutes 22.
Well,
I mean, that's bad even for me. You know, I'm sure his micro is much better than mine, but at least I'm pumping out some upgrades every now and then. So we have an observer popping over blue, and he is doing the right thing. He's observing. He's just going to drop it on top of the army and sit there. And all that's confirming, I imagine, to red is that he has no anti-air. You know, I'd be thinking a lot about that because there's no anti-air. More Ravager cocoons popping in for DPUTER. I might just start referring to these people by their colours in the castings because it's hard to remember everyone's name. But
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's interesting that I would take away from that specific scenario there that all he is confirming is that there is no anti-air. There's no anti-air capability in his army whatsoever. Now, it's interesting as well, because I'm looking at Blue's main build-up of forces here, and yeah, he's just brought a load of roaches in, but there's still quite a disparity between the supply caps there. 197 to 171, that's a big difference. Okay,
It
so it looks
is,
like our first
and
meeting is coming in now, and yet...
And good fungal growth from the infestor does a lot of damage. Not sure why he's fungal growthing his own units. Probably pure panic mode.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there we go. There's on the opponent.
Yeah.
But that Hydra backline is just providing so much DPS. I think we're watching a steamroll happen.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a push through this. That's for sure. I don't know if he's going to have the production capabilities to get enough out to hold this. The only other option he's got is potentially a counter-attack through a different lane, but that requires a whole level micro that I personally cannot pull off. I don't know about you. Yeah, here comes the Paniclings.
No. Yep, here comes the always Paniclings, and then we had Corruptors out. I have to assume that that was because he was expecting air.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have his Greater Spire to morph into Broodlords, so...
No, yeah. And look, that is game. One push, and that is game. And yeah, what a game it was. Are we ready to jump into game 2?
Yeah, I think we're ready to jump into game 2.
And let's jump into game 2. Still a ZvZ matchup. I think we put it in the rules, didn't we, Mike? That the race you played was the race you played. Like, the only way you could play different races is if you played random, right?
Actually, we did not set that rule at all.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to change it up,
we can. We could potentially see that. Okay, now we've got Cold Loyalty in the top right, DPUTER in the bottom left. Both annoyingly blue Zerg, which is yeah.
Oh, come on, that is teal. Clearly
is
teal.
It teal, or is teal just a word that gamers invented because they can't tell the difference between dark blue and light blue? I think that might be more the case.
No, it's a word that gamers invented because they didn't want to seem girly and say cyan.
Oh, okay. I'd have called it baby blue. Personally.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so look, exactly the same openers as previously we're seeing from Code Loyalty. I mean, why would he change anything?
No.
Oh, no, sorry. No, you're absolutely right.
This time.
The 14 pool last time, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm getting my players mixed up. And yeah.
In fact, that was a patch before Overlord. Extremely greedy.
Yeah, very, very aggressive. We're not seeing any scouting from Cold Loyalty, which is interesting. I wonder why that is. Is that panic, or is it just because the expansion Overlord is coming out? Who knows?
I would say probably just panic. You have to remember that he just lost the first game.
Yeah.
He's probably nervous, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, spawning pool going down for DPUTER down here. And yeah, same with Cold Loyalty. I think DPUTER has got it down a little bit earlier, so potential for a little bit of early aggression. Who knows? I'm very excited by this one. Yeah, the extractor's up and fully saturated, like in nanoseconds. Watching other people play is amazing, because that's like, okay, now I need to press my command group 3 where I put 2 SCVs and then fully saturate the gas and make sure they're sending their minerals back and yada yada yada.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
No, honestly, DPUTER is just doing a very standard hatch gas pull.
Yeah.
Had to think there for a second.
Yeah.
Because there is variation, but that one is honestly just a very standard Zerg opener for when DPUTER feels like he's ahead, so he's going to do just the standard build that's going to give him the most economy while not doing anything super fancy.
The best ability to sort of change his playstyle later in the game if he needs to, and kind of react to his opponent. That's how I'd be looking at this if I was one game ahead. I wouldn't be risking anything. Yeah, Cold Loyalty's got a third hatchery going down in the base. I believe we've got the same... Nope, sorry, wrong. Roach Warren going down for DPUTER. They are now aware of each other, and by aware of each other, I mean their units have met sight range, but still Cold Loyalty has not ventured further than his second natural. So yeah, there's very little map vision control in this game on the side of Cold Loyalty, which, yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm more confused about what this is in his main base. I understand the macro hatch. What
Yeah.
I don't understand is the 2 spore crawlers.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have some sort of belief that there's going to be some air units knocking over at some point, right? So, and I don't think at this stage of the game, 3 minutes 26, that you can reasonably expect that there's going to be a Mutalisk rush or anything like that. So maybe that's,
Well, I'll be honest. If DPUTER can get Mutalisks out this fast, then I
yeah,
have deeply underestimated him.
he's definitely going to win the tournament. Yeah. Well, look, while these guys are playing, we should probably talk a little bit more about the tournament, seeing as we're in game two. So we, I think this came about from I put up a Q&A video, and one of the questions was, when are we going to run a StarCraft tournament for the Discord server? And I responded to you, Mike, saying you can set that up at any time. So this is actually your love child. This is your baby. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's not a good thing.
you've done
This
a great
this
job
was
at organizing it. I know it was a little bit
Oh
stressful.
yes. This was a bumpy ride,
Yeah.
and I hope the next one will be better.
No, yeah, great. Well, we had, how many people did we have enter? Was it like 16, 18 people enter, including myself?
We wanted 16. We ended up getting 13 people.
Right, okay, yeah. So I know 2 people made it to the second bracket, and you very graciously gave me polling on the second bracket, which was very lovely, because it means I got even more brutally destroyed by a better player than I would have potentially at the beginning, which was nice. But it was a load of fun. I really had a load of fun, and we're going to be releasing these videos. I don't want to say daily like all the other content on the channel, but we will be releasing them all, so you can watch all of the games and find out who has been crowned the Discord server champion. And yeah, if you're new to this channel, because I know a lot of the videos that I upload, or we upload, get a lot of views from new audience members, you should absolutely scroll down to the video description, hit the link, and join the Discord server. It's completely free. You don't have to be a channel member or a Patreon. There's none of that nonsense. You can just come out, hang out with other like-minded gamers. Now, look, there's a Nidus network going down in Cold Loyalty. I have been scanning around the map looking for interesting stuff happening whilst we've been building up through this game. And yeah, I've just noticed.
And that now explains the spore crawlers.
Yes, it does.
Because he wanted this absolutely to not be scouted.
Yeah, yeah. That is huge. And the Queen sat there as well. It's probably a good incentive. Yeah, that is interesting.
What I don't see, however, is Cold Loyalty Spotter. So a Nidus network
You need to have vision.
only goes up where you have vision.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything on the other side of the map to give him vision.
Yeah. So what I'm expecting, and this is just my expectations, is one of these overlords that he's got hanging around his second natural to make its way down to that little sort of void between the blocked off expansion and the natural, sorry, the main base of DPUTER.
Probably.
That's what I'm expecting, but we'll see.
But I'm going to guess it's this overlord coming up next to his macro hatch.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
By default, overseers have a much higher movement speed than overlords, as you can see.
Yeah. Yeah, that is going to be interesting. We're seeing a little bit of aggression with some roaches pushing across the center from DPUTER. So we'll see if they bump into anything at all. I don't actually know what he's got in terms of units. Not a great deal. Not a great deal. I mean, he's got some roaches.
He does roaches of his own, but they are nowhere near the third.
Yeah, so he's going to know that
they will arrive in time to save it, though. If no, never mind.
Yeah, he's taking them. He's taking them up the top and away from stuff. Maybe he's goading him into a fight.
Give up that third.
Yeah. He's still building 2 queens from it, though. Or was.
Those will... Well, he's building a roach there. He probably wants to cancel that, but I think the egg's going to die anyways.
Yeah.
And gets his money back, at least.
Yeah, interesting.
And here's... Nope. He did the all-army hotkey, bringing his overseer back. He really needs to get that across the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm seeing that overseer now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At this point in time, it looks like he is putting all of his eggs in one basket, and that basket is a Nidus worm.
Yeah, that basket is going to erupt somewhere on the other side of the map, which is going to be interesting. Why is he microing this overseer so well? I have no idea. But yeah, if it was me, it would be very much strike while the iron's hot. I know most of the enemy's army is over my side of the base. So yeah, I'd be doing just that. Nothing would get in the way of me getting over the other side of the map and getting vision. Right, okay, he's got his Nidus network. I've just seen added to control group 1. He is ready.
And looks like, and because that is out of vision from DPUTER,
Yeah.
he has no notification. This is completely blind.
Yeah, all he can see is
He will
one
not get a
overseer.
notification until it opens.
That is incredible. And open it does. There we go. Loads of roaches
And
pop out. And in we go into the main.
Directly
Wow.
into the main, and he has that ramp control.
Yes, he does. That's an amazing bit of micro there.
Which he gives up. But he is going to get that main down.
Yeah, he's going to attack the main, probably take out as many queens and workers as he possibly can, just to really, really make the enemy economy suffer. There is now a difference of 16 drones. I was about to call them SCVs. But, yeah, that is super, super interesting. The Nidus Worm is still up. There's every opportunity for him to pull it back, but he's pulling out a load of Zerglings out of his main now. Cold Loyalty, this is, in anticipation of a secondary attack, and yeah, some roaches moving down the center, attacking the 3 hatcheries that are popping up as well. So an amazing bit of aggression there.
It is, but he is going to be pushed back by these hydras. That DPS is just going to be too much.
Yeah, so 2 of those 3 hatcheries survive, but there is at least an army blob at home. Queen is finally dealing with the overseer.
Well, that's good. What I'm worried about here is that even after that attack, he is still 16 drones behind.
Yeah.
But that Nidus Worm was never taken care of.
Yeah, and 1 hatchery behind.
And here comes round 2.
Oh, wow, yeah, they never got rid of the Nidus. They knew it was there. And by they, I obviously mean DPUTER. But, yeah, that is insane. And these drones that are long mining, they are just going to get picked off incredibly easily. By the Zerglings running around. Yeah, he's focused down the Nidus, but yeah, they're probably still going to lose a couple of extra drones. Sure, that's still behind. What's the difference in drone production now? 51 to 40. The hatchery finally goes back down in DPUTER's main. And yeah, what are we looking at now? So more roach production happening. Couple of infestors, sorry, yeah, no, wrong. Infestors and Hydralisks queued up. A lair and a hatchery. Choosing to expand over to the left rather than the second natural there, which I would have thought would have been a bit easier to defend. Nice to see that DPUTER's taken a play out of my book, which is the trademark once you've killed all the enemy's stuff, just a move to their base. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out particularly well. It could actually. There's not a lot of units on the field. There's 4 queens.
No, I think this is going to be quite the steamroll at this point. Loyalty's out of resources. He doesn't have a big enough army to push this off, and I think we're looking at
the perfect counterattack. Yeah, some drones are coming out.
And that is just going to go in.
Yeah,
those drones are going to get picked off by that last Hydra.
Yeah.
The Roach Warren's going down, and with that going down, so is anything that can counter this.
Yeah, there's a load of roaches coming down the ramp, but it's just not going to be enough, unfortunately. That fungal... what is it? Fungal spore, whatever it is, hits that.
Yeah, fungal growth slows them down and makes it so they take damage.
Yeah, those roaches
letting
got
those
hit pretty
hydras
hard.
hit just a little harder.
Yeah, and look, he's attacking 1, 2, 3 hatcheries at the same time. Incredible splitting of micro on the army just to keep the pressure up. I feel like, yeah, damn it, GG. I feel like the more you can make your enemy look at flashes on the minimap, the more stress you induce on them. It's quite a psychological game, which I was not expecting when I jumped into StarCraft 2. But a great win there for DPUTER. So that's 1 each, right?
Let's see. No, I believe that is game 2, and DPUTER moves on.
DPUTER is moving up the bracket. So look, I know we just said that was game 2 of 2, but turns out we got our recordings out of order. So we're jumping into, and look, the results aren't going to change, but you might be interested to watch this match because it's quite a good one. This is game 3. Which is actually turns out it's game 1 of Cold Loyalty versus DPUTER. Cold Loyalty in the top left in the teal, or the light blue, the baby blue, and DPUTER in the bottom right. And we're going to watch this match now. It is it's a contested map, so contested match. So you can probably guess who's going to win, but I'd be remiss if we didn't include it in the upload. Mike, what are you noticing straight off the bat?
Right off the bat, I'm noticing that Cold Loyalty has not gone for any additional drones, just going straight into that very greedy hatch.
Yeah, I've seen that go down straight into the natural as well. So yeah, they're doing the overlords passing in the night, like ships in the night type thing in the middle. They're going to slowly make their way towards each other. We can now see the hatchery going down by DPUTER. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty honest game. It looks like from both players. No cheeky shenanigans so far, or that I would expect from this matchup.
Not so far, and looks like we're going to go for a pull first from both of them,
Yep.
but for Deputer, an extractor will not be far behind.
Yeah, although the extractor just got cancelled by Cold Loyalty. I don't know why that would
Well,
be.
well, that is to do the old extractor trick. Drones stop taking up, they subtract their supply as soon as
Ah,
they become a building.
that's
So you can put them on the
amazing.
extractor, build an additional drone, and cancel.
That's insane. Could you put them on a something like to build something and then just smash out a load of zerglings and then cancel the buildings, get your drones back?
You could, but keep in mind that you're not getting 100% back,
Right, okay.
so it's very inefficient.
Yeah, yeah. That might be like a super late game tactic, and why would you need to in the late game? That's yeah. Okay, it's interesting that that's possible to me, but not advised. Definitely not advised. Right, they have now got vision of each other. Cold Loyalty getting some vision over the bottom right, and DPUTER getting some vision over the top left. In terms of production, we've got a
And
couple of zerglings and some queens popping out.
well, especially that queen's going to be dangerous because that overlord is right over the
Yeah,
natural.
I was just thinking that. So that overlord is not going to get away. That's
Nope, not this early on, and not on creep.
That's fair to say. Yeah, a couple of idle drones there that have just been moved over to actually mining minerals. Yeah, that overlord
But
will
this
go
overlord
down.
death is going to hurt.
Yeah, that's a
It's going to
supply
supply
block.
block him for just a bit.
Yeah. And what's the build time on an overlord? You know, that's a long time to be supply blocked, especially in a competitive
Uh,
match.
Apparently
Yeah, I think he's about to return the favor
18
though.
seconds.
The pewter is going to inflict exactly the same casualty there.
And both of them getting supply blocked for their trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, some good reaction to scouting there. That is interesting. DPUTER removing his supply block slightly earlier, as you would expect, because he was supply blocked first. We've got a little group of zerglings down here, Cold Loyalty zerglings, just hanging out by DPUTER's main, and yeah, that is interesting. We're actually seeing a baneling nest popping up in Cold Loyalty's main, behind the mineral wall. Now, is that like a scouting thing? Like, Zerg put things behind the mineral wall so they can't be found?
They do that. There was also, I think, originally it was to block the mineral lines so that Hellions couldn't get around, and then it
Right,
just kind of
okay.
trickled down the meta.
Right, okay, cool. Well, yeah, looks like we're getting a bit of a Zergling tug of war happening here. Three Zerglings and a Baneling see off Cold Loyalty's Zergling push there, and it looks like we're morphing in some more Banelings here as well. Baneling Cocoon, sorry, the
And I really
Baneling
did
Nest.
like that pullback he did,
Yeah,
because despite the overwhelming numbers, and this is the part of ZvZ I can't stand, you can lose it all just by not paying attention for 2 seconds, and two
yeah.
Banelings will wipe out your entire army.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's just a case of there's going to be a push of some lings, and there's not a lot you can do about it because your army's on the other side of the map, or currently an acidic ooze in the bottom left-hand corner.
Now this is interesting. Deputer has a full wall up, so
Yeah,
he
I was
must be
just noticing
expecting
that.
a very big all-in, and he's partially right. That is a lot of Zerglings, but we do have a third popping up behind it.
Yeah, that is interesting. He's going to move that spine crawler out of the way. If
So
only
that he
he
can
could
get
see.
his own third.
Yeah, if only he could see what I can see, which is some Zerglings and Banelings chilling just outside of sight range. Maybe he wouldn't have made that choice. The spine crawler isn't even down, and yeah, that's going to be interesting.
And if he moves in soon, that will hurt, but nope, looks like the moment is going to pass him by.
Yeah, that little bit of extra defense there. Yeah, literally just in time.
And there goes the 2 banelings. And as
Yeah.
you see, so DPUTER is trying to peck at the banelings with a single zergling so that if they fight back, it's a
Yeah.
loss.
Yeah.
But
It's a
if
great
they
trade.
do, he won't lose his army.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, production of drones is fantastic by Cold Loyalty. There's 5 drones in production at one time there. That's the power of Zerg. Now there's 7 overlords popping out as well, which is going to fix all of his supply block issues. There's still a decent little force defending by DPUTER here. He is moving that spine crawler once again. And yeah, here
Now
comes
DPUTER
another.
is very brave here. He's only got 1 baneling, and I can't help but feel that that's going to hurt him.
Yeah,
Yep,
here we
there
go.
we go.
Okay, also the banelings trade very well.
Oh yes, banelings trade amazing against regular zerglings.
Yeah, every opponent baneling went down in the same push there. He's gone a bit all in just on that one base with his workers as well, which is great.
I'm surprised he ran. He could have finished off that base and done a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting because depriving somebody of an actual mining expansion is huge, especially when he's oversaturated on both bases. Though I have just noticed he is 0 on one of the gases on his main. I wonder if he's noticed that or not. That is by him, I presume, DPUTER. But yeah, the interesting thing now is they're both spamming out upgrades. There's a Spire going down for Cold Loyalty, which it means only one thing. There's going to be some Mutalisks cutting around the map shortly. Double Evo Chamber.
We might need to start
quadruple.
referring to them as callers again, because
Yeah.
that is DPUTER who has the Mutalisks coming up.
Yeah, Dark Blue. Dark Blue. Dark Blue has some Mutalist coming up, and Cold Loyalty is just behind with a Spire. In fact, is that right? Am I seeing that right? Is that 2 Spires?
That is 2 Spires. Looks like he
is.
wants to go heavy on the air with double upgrades.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I mean, the great thing about Zerg, one of the great things about being a decent Zerg player is you end up with a lot of evolution chambers. So getting to max upgrades, pretty sort of self-explanatory, right? You could probably queue up all of them at any one time and not really worry about it, presuming that you've done enough resource management. And we're, 8 minutes and 14 into this game, and they've both got plenty of resources. Resource is not the thing that's holding them back. It's interesting to see that Dark Blue DPUTER is supply blocked, and he's taken his Mutalisks in to harass this hatchery. He's going to get an easy hatchery kill there. And yeah, Cold Loyalty is moving his Zerglings back to his main because he has nothing to defend these Mutalisks with. Some Overlords are going to go down. He's hunting for that pack of Overlords. He's found them. He's going to inflict some supply blocking. It's just a matter of time.
He is, but honestly, I wish he would have gone straight for the workers because
Yeah, that would have done way more damage.
He has nothing, but
yeah, a few queens
then,
that he can drag from base to base and still jump around and do some damage to some mineral lines. And look, we're missing out as well on an attack. Yeah. Yeah, these
Zerglings are going to do great because he put everything into microing those mutas.
Yeah, they're really going to clear up. The Infestor Pit's going to go down. Oh, is it? No.
Is it?
He's just leaving it just alive. I have no idea why you wouldn't finish that up.
I would assume because he is not microing this. He is busy back home building all those spore crawlers.
Yeah, that's likely the case. The last of those Zerglings are going to get cleared away. And yeah, some panic Zergling cocoons are still going to pop out, leaving DPUTER with an extra 24 Zerglings coming out now. Cold Loyalty has got a couple of observers knocking over the base. He's just, what has he come in to have a look? I have no idea. But it's probably a good thing to be able to see. And we've got the Mutalisks running out now. They're going to bump into each other.
It's a shame he didn't take care of those before he left, because he got to see them fly away, and he has his own defenses now.
Yeah. Interesting that you take that fight with the Mutalisks above 2 queens.
He took he probably shouldn't have. And at this point in time, Cold Loyalty has just an overwhelming number. And in Muta fights, having a small advantage wins, and having a big advantage, but we're going to see him retreat again. Probably doesn't feel confident in going in.
The super interesting thing don't know why my voice just broke then, like I'm a pubescent teenager. The super interesting thing for me was just watching Cold Loyalty go from like 3,000 stored resources down. He's back down to 300 again now. He just popped up to almost 1,000. But he's
And that is the
spending a
beauty
lot
of
of money.
Zerg.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of investment. Not to put DPUTER down. He's obviously very good at the game and infinitely better than me. There just seems to be a lot more spending efficiency coming from Cold Loyalty in this game.
And I think that has to come down to pure panic because, we've seen, unfortunately, that he does end up winning. So I would say that in this game, it has to be just pure panic and
Yeah,
he's not sure what's coming.
yeah, totally. Well, Cold Loyalty has the map control at the moment. I think that's fair to say. Yes, there are 5 Mutalisks cutting around in sort of the central top by DPUTER, but they're not going to really cause much of a problem for Cold Loyalty, who could probably split off the same number and still be able to effectively harass if he chose to. Still amazed that infestation pit is still alive. Yeah, they're both building up forces, and we're seeing a big push now down the center. Zerglings going in from both directions, and a huge number of Mutalisks. I say going in, he's not made contact yet, and there's a perfectly takeable hatchery over in this direction.
And I think we're about to see it get taken.
Yeah, that is definitely gonna go down.
And one thing I wish I would have seen from DPUTER here is he has, he's floating all those minerals, and he knows his opponent has mutas. I wish he would have thrown down a lot more spore crawlers, at least around his worker line.
Yeah, totally. That's a mineral line that's going to cost him dearly. Mainly, if you look at his main, he's oversaturated 10 to 8, his natural 13 to 8, his second natural 27 to 16. Losing that is going to be a huge problem for him. Yes, there's a harassment attack at home, and I think to give props to DPUTER, he went for the workers, not the hatchery, and I think that's potentially more damage.
Oh, that was absolutely the right call.
Yeah, it's one thing to deprive your enemy of the structures, and that's great if you can take it with minimal losses, but if you've got limited time, go for the workers. They're hard to replace. They take longer.
And we see a beautiful counterattack going down in the bottom.
Yeah. Tons of Hydras. Yeah, the Hydras are going to
honestly, they're not going to trade amazing against the Hydras, but you are trading gas for minerals, so always a good trade for the Lings.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at the losses because at the moment Cold Loyalty's lost 132 units and 4,500 resources. DPUTER 109 but 7,150 resources, so a huge disparity in the amount of resources lost there.
Well, I think a lot of it came down to the fact that DPUTER's been building a lot of gas units, except for the Mutalisks. Cold Loyalty's army is almost entirely just pure Zergling, which is honestly why I would love to see him get the attack speed upgrade. He already has the Hive.
Yeah, that's interesting that he hasn't got that yet, actually. I didn't even notice that, but then again, I don't play Zerg, so it would be weird for me to notice that. There's an attack rally going on with these Zerglings going down in the bottom left, whilst also simultaneously microing these Mutalisks in the top of the map. So these Zerglings are going in, they're going to create a distraction. Yeah, and he's done the right thing there. He's pulled away those Hydras. Zerglings are coming out. Mutalisks are going into the main. I mean, it's a great strategy, but at 14 minutes 39, is that the right time to attack the main? And they are on an attack move, so they're just going to take out tech structures.
He has an overwhelming cloud of Mutalisks, so I think this is actually going to go quite well for him.
Yeah, he took out a lot more workers than I thought. Hydralisks come in.
He did take down the Spire, meaning that this is the last of the mutas we'll see from DPUTER as well. And now we're going to see that fourth hatchery go down a second time, and that just keeps him ahead.
Yes, it really does. The Spore Crawler does pop out, but it's going to get destroyed. No, it's not.
Oh, and it's not. And that is going to do so much extra damage.
Yeah, and we've got Banelings popping in the south as well. Zerglings coming in on the attack move. Banelings to respond.
And Banelings amazing against Hydras.
Yeah, Mutalisks from DPUTER harassing Cold Loyalty as well. Everything's happening in this match. That is insane. Oh, yeah.
And DPUTER, to his credit, still putting those Mutalisks that he has to good work, taking out that
Yeah.
fifth.
And we're
Good
seeing
crisis control.
the first Ultralisks popping out now from Cold Loyalty. That is going to make things very interesting in the late game, especially with the amount of Zerglings that we've seen. Unfortunately, his other Ultralisks can't get out, so they're going to eat one of the evolution chambers to make some space. That is fine. We've still got a little pack of Mutalisks. What would you call a flock of Mutalisks? A pack? Is it like a murder of crows? Is it like a...
With only 5, no, he is now up to, must have rebuilt that spire or produced more before it went down.
It's got to be like a whole flock, right?
Yeah, I'd say 9 is at least a flock.
Yeah. Right, okay, yeah. The Ultras are going to make contact with these Hydras. Yeah,
and
they're going to eat them.
As much as I'd love to see the armor upgrade, it doesn't matter. They're still Ultras.
Yeah.
And
the
fact that the computer didn't do any kind of pullback against that.
Yeah, is it possible to start a step with Hydras?
It's possible. It's not as amazing, but it can still be done.
Yeah, okay. Right, Mutalisks are still just chilling. I mean, and DPUTER can see these coming in. He knows they exist because he's just been attacked by them. He can see them coming in because he's got map vision. And there's not a whole lot of defense going out.
Right into a pack of queens, and yeah. I think these Ultras are just going to... No. Between the Ultras and the Zerglings, there's nothing left. Yeah. I think this is over.
Yeah,
and
there's nothing left at home for him to pick off those Ultralisks. And how many was it at the end of the game that you had knocking about there? 12 Ultralisks in your second natural. That is going to be a headache for any player. So look, let me just say a quick apology for recording these out of order, and also a big thank you if you've gotten this far in the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it more than I can tell you. Mike, do you have any closing comments, any closing thoughts before I wrap things up?
Yeah, there is one thing I want to add. By the time this goes up, I will have the tournament replay pack posted in the Discord for anybody who is interested in viewing these on their own.
Lovely, lovely. Well, look, I've been Ollie. I've been joined by the lovely storyteller, aka Mike, from the Discord server. To recap a few things. One, if you've got this far in the video, excuse me, I don't know why my voice broke then, again for the second time in one video. If you've got this far in the video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel massively. Please do leave a comment down below. Just if you'd like to get involved in tournaments on the Discord server, if you enjoyed the video, any feedback, suggestions, tips, tricks, all that great stuff that you usually do, but in relation to these recorded matches.
You can play better than the players playing.
Well, yeah, a lot of people can play better than the players playing, because one of the players playing was me. I'm dreading the day when we have to record my replays or cast my replays. So this is something completely new that we're trying. So I appreciate you guys coming along for the journey. Again, down below in the description, there is a link to the Discord server. Click on it. There is no payment wall. You do not have to become a channel member or a Patreon or any of that nonsense. It's just gamers hanging out. You are more than welcome to come and say hello. Popping up on your screen now will be some other videos that we hope you find interesting. Check those out as well, and we will see you in the next episode.